企前啲接近台前嘅位置，咁我呼籲咗啦。
I just encourage everybody to try to sit near the front of the stage, please.
好啦，跟住落嚟咧，我哋會邀請曾經喺今年9月出赴美國國會發言嘅國會3人組，同大家分享有關呢條法案嘅詳細內容。
Let's hear from the Congress trio on the walk on Capitol Hill in September during the first stage of the passage of the Human Rights and Democracy Act, as well as any future plans.
佢哋分別係大專學界國際事務代表團發言人張春陽同學，香港政治秘書長嘅黃之鋒先生，同埋司法司長嘅先生。
Please welcome the Congress chair, Mr. Cindy Chung of HKIAD, Mr. Joshua Wong of the Manifesto, and Ms. Denise Ho, a local singer-songwriter turned social activist, onto the stage, please.
各位香港人，香港人權民主法案喺今日朝早正式簽署成為美國正式法。我好希望喺度係想多謝3班香港人。第一班係喺美國同埋海外嘅香港人，由5年前2014年嘅11月。香港人權民主法案基本上冇香港人關心，支持嘅議員唔好講10隻5隻手指都數得晒。香港嘅政黨同埋議員都對呢件事件冇太大嘅興趣或者關注。但由5年前去到3年前去到今日，其實正係一班喺海外喺美國東岸嘅香港人，佢哋鍥而不捨努力游說，盡佢哋嘅每一分力去付出，先令到我哋有今日嘅成果，先令到我哋有今日嘅內容。無論係駐華盛頓嘅戰友，到係 HKDC 游說嘅組織，其實海外嘅香港人，佢哋身負海外，但佢嘅戰友，到係 HKDC 游說嘅組織，其實海外嘅香港人，佢哋身負海外，但佢哋就同我哋守好國際戰線，喺國際包圍中國。希望俾大家最大掌聲俾佢哋先。香港人權民主法案同時能夠通過，第2班需要多謝嘅香港人就係前線嘅手足同埋義士。有人同我講話，等到人權民主法案正式生效之後先勇武上場，要勇武休息。事實證明，正係我哋香港嘅青年一代喺理工大學、喺中文大學、喺咁多場嘅大學保衛戰，佢哋嘅付出、承擔、犧牲、自治委屈，喺過去所以我希望大家和勇不分，國際戰線需要和應飛，亦都需要用到底嘅支撐。希望大家對用到底都繼續有8個得嘅精力肯定。第3班我都需要多謝嘅朋友，就係喺上個星期日。選擇係要求或者游說特朗普簽署法案嘅最後一根稻草，就係民主派喺區議會選舉橫掃議席大獲全勝，議席橫掃議席大獲全勝，議席係一切，但議席比起民調選舉，比起民意調查，係更能反映香港人嘅民心所向。由區議會選舉嘅結果開始，無論係新年何韻詩定係我哋以後接受外國傳媒訪問，我哋終於可以好自豪咁樣同國際記者講 ：We are the majority。人權民主法案通過之後，行政機關執行制裁機制係迫在眉睫。我哋喺華盛頓喺國際社會自由辯護，適逢疫 源，點樣喺中國大陸面對折磨，再加上人權民主法案喺美國獲得通過，我哋下一個目標就係要將人權民主法案遍地開花，帶到英國、澳洲、加拿大、任何一個國家，去向到最強國嘅呢個嘅能夠切磋萬齊。所以喺25分鐘之後，香港時間8點半，我將會以視像型。
所以喺25分鐘之後，香港時間8點半，我將會以視像形式係去出席意大利國會聽證，將制裁打向澳洲。有人話有人同我講話，
連月嚟嘅努力已經令到我哋成為世界盃嘅主辦國，已經令到國際傳媒去聚焦香港，已經令到國際政界關注香港，已經令到國際嘅政治人物喺區議會選舉過嚟監察選舉。The world is watching， 呢個就係最清晰嘅訊息，係去俾習近平同埋林鄭月娥。所以我希望鼓勵大家，我哋抗爭已經啱啱好持續咗半年6個月嘅時間，我好希望大家繼續和勇不分，手足齊上齊落，國際、街頭、選舉、社區每個陣地，我哋繼續努力。最後我好希望用英文去講一句 ：May the glory come to Hong Kong, May the glory come to Hong Kongers, May riot police and government officials enjoy the glory in Greater Bay Area.
都要覺得喺呢個感恩節嘅晚會上咧，要多謝兩批人嘅。第一批咧係好少人談及，係美國國會議員嘅助理。大家知唔知道條法案係邊個寫嘅？係咪 Marco Rubio 本人咧？係咪 Nancy Pelosi 本人咧？
何年佢當然代表唔同嘅政治光譜。喺寫呢條法案嘅時候，曾經會有議員助理會覺得點解要幫香港？香港唔係已經被上海取代咗啦咩？呢條法案有咩需要咧？但係有一批熱愛香港、擁抱自由嘅國會議員助理，同佢喺嗰個會議上辯論，同佢講話香港人絕對值得幫忙。所以喺嗰個嘅法案嘅會議上，佢哋一批嘅議員助理成功說服嗰批比較質疑對香港有質疑嘅人，令到個法案可以加納地橫空出世地去幫助香港人。同一時間，第二批我要多謝
同一時間，第二批要感恩我哋要多謝嘅人咩咧？就係各位嘅手足啦。喺過去嘅一段日子，大約1個月前，有好多人話，而家參議院嘅多數黨領袖 Mitch McConnell 或者一批親中嘅參議員，佢哋唔會容許呢條法案通過，甚至有機會令到呢條法案拖到明年4月先至通過。但係點解突然之間參議院會可以全票通過咧？Marco Rubio 曾經同呢個 Mitch McConnell 開會，咁佢開會嘅時候用啲咩方法說服其他嘅親中嘅參議員去通過呢條法案咧？其中一個最顯形佢用嘅例子，就係因為佢見到香港警察圍攻中文大學呢一件事情，令到 Mitch McConnell 同埋美國嘅總統特朗普唔能夠再站喺與香港人民為敵嘅一方，佢哋一定要選擇出嚟保護香港人民，呢條法案先至可以通過。 鍵所在。所以國際遊說嘅工作，包括美國會繼續落去，而我哋大專學界其實喺未來幾日，亦都正式會同連登嘅我與攬炒團隊合作。超過20個人嘅團隊嘅合作，呢一份超過100頁嘅制裁報告將會直接送俾美國國會、國務院同法官。我哋一定要確保我哋嘅手足流嘅血汗係可以透過我哋光復香港而感謝佢哋。我哋一定要繼續堅持落去，俾世界看見香港、聽見香港，大家好唔好？光復香港，光復香港，光復香港 ，Fight for freedom， Fight for freedom， Fight for freedom。
我喺呢度其實真係最後想多謝每一位由6月頭到而家每一次有任何一個行動，無論係前線嘅去對抗警暴嘅，又或者係喺後邊和你飛、和你 lunch， 每一次我哋又見到香港人願意不放棄行到街上，呢一條法案係因為你哋而通過嘅。We would really like to thank all the Hong Kongers, the brave, and to thank all the allies and our friends from all over the world, including, of course, the senators and all the members of Congress in the U.S. Congress, and also all those who have stood with Hong Kong in the past 6 months, including the international media who have been here since day one. Thank you so much for protecting Hong Kong people. And of course our local media. Thank you all for your courageous work on the very dangerous right of Hong Kong. 喺呢度，我哋3位其實都暫告一段落啦。呢一個嘅任務，但係咧喺呢一度我都希望可以重拾翻我自己嘅本位。有部琴喺度啦，咁希望嗱，因為其實我覺得今次嘅呢一場運動，其實佢最漂亮嘅地方就係每一個人，唔理嗰個行動有冇用都好，我哋都先去行一步，去做咗先。因為有呢一啲每一個人嘅付出，其實先至可以去推動成個運動去到今日，係冇人諗過嘅，冇人諗過香港呢一個咁和平嘅地方，我哋係可以用我哋。
The Congresswoman from Tennessee, Blackburn, talking about how pushing the Hong Kong bills forward is such an important step in what America has to do, right? So yeah, let's go take a look around. Okay. Oh.
Maybe we can follow them to
這土地裏再流，何以令眾人亦分享？昂首拒默尋，吶喊聲響亮，盼自由歸於這裏。何以這恐懼抹不走？何以為信念從沒退後？何解血在流，但邁進聲響透，見自由光輝香港，在晚星墜落彷徨夜，迷霧裏最遠處吹來號，覺醒看自由，來齊集這裏，來全力擴大勇氣智慧也永不滅。黎明來到，要光放這香港，同行兒女為正義時代革命，祈求民主與自由，萬世都不朽。我願榮光歸香港。
Thank you, Dr. Simon, for the performance tonight, and thank you all three speeches.
聽完三位嘅發言，相信大家都會體會到呢條法案嘅通過背後絕對唔簡單。但係相信大家都會問，究竟呢條法案通過咗之後，對香港實際上會有乜嘢嘅影響呢？
After hearing from our Congress trio, I believe we will all understand that the passing of this bill hasn't been an easy task. Many of us might also wonder, what are the impacts of this bill will bring to Hong Kong?
今日我哋請嚟三位專業團體嘅嘉賓同大家分析一下。嗱，佢哋分別係高教公民嘅陳永正先生、前線科技人員嘅胡仁傑先生，以及法政匯思嘅梁允信先生。有請三位。
Next up, we have invited Alton Chen of Progressive Scholars Group, Peter Wu from of Frontline Tech Workers Concern Group, and Wilson Leung from of Progressive Lawyers Group to share their analysis with us. Thank you.
大家好，我係法政匯思嘅梁允信。 有啲人會問呢個法案其實有冇用？我可以話絕對有用。佢講3點，第一點就係制裁。美國總統要喺180天內同埋每一年去定製一個制裁嘅名單。有邊一啲官員、邊一啲指揮官，佢哋喺度違反我哋香港人嘅人權，就會擺落嗰個名單入邊。有咩制裁啊？凍結佢哋資產，唔俾佢哋入美國境內。即係話俾佢哋聽，如果你踐踏香港人嘅人權，你準備被排斥，你準備做過街老鼠。以後唔好入美國，以後返大灣區享繁榮。
In Hong Kong, and pro-democracy groups won 17 out of the 18 districts. It was a landslide victory for the pro-democracy side. A lot of the pro-Beijing incumbents were voted out.
以後返大灣區享繁榮。第二樣就係每年嘅檢視，每年美國政府會喺取消香港嘅獨立關稅區嘅地位。咁即係話俾佢聽咩啊？話俾嗰班權貴、嗰班官員、嗰班中共嘅官員聽，你係咪準備攬炒？如果係嘅，就放馬過嚟。我哋唔驚攬炒。第3點我想講嘅係象徵意義。嗰個法案喺眾議院、參議院係差唔多1面倒咁通過，得1票反對，即係勁過習近平。咁呢樣話俾我哋聽咩？話俾我哋聽，下一屆美國總統無論係邊個，下一個參議院選舉、眾議院選舉邊一個贏，美國都會繼續支持香港人，繼續 stand with Hong Kong。
For the passing of the bill, like today, the U.S. the Donald Trump signed the bill, right? Yeah.
So, you know, what would you say to Donald Trump if he's watching this program right now?
Yeah. Thank you for standing with us, and we have fought so hard for recent months, and I think it's a great support from the U.S. and the international, from the U.S. Yeah,
I agree. You know, there's a lot of young people in America right now who are looking for more communism in America. They like it. They want it. What would you tell them? Because it seems like a lot of the speeches are anti-communist, right? So what would you tell the young people in America?
It's just like the communism. It's just like maybe they will provide some kind of financial support for the youth in the U.S. But then it's actually it's a trap, right? They would kind of like trading something for the money, right? Just like they would. How would I say? You cannot speak something that the communists they don't like. Instead, maybe they will give you some financial, benefits for trading freedom and your freedom of speech. Right? Yeah.
Well, the freedom of speech. That's one of the things communists take away right away. You can only have the one idea, right? Did you vote the other day?
I voted. You mean have I voted?
Yeah, the other day.
Yeah, I had voted.
That was a landslide victory for the pro-democracy side over.
Yeah. It's a very, very huge victory, and I think it is the majority, and it shows that most of the Hong Kong people they support the democracy and what we are doing, because we were doing something that was very kind of disturbing the average people, they would go to work, maybe they find it very troublesome because we kind of doing things like blocking the road. But then it shows that although several or some inconvenience, but then we still got the support for the people from the people. Yeah.
It's so clear. It made it so clear. Because, the pro-Beijing propaganda was saying something else, that it's like a silent majority, right? But this vote just showed it completely otherwise.
Yeah, it shows that actually we are the majority. Yeah. And then what I want to say is that they are trying to kind of playing tricks, to saying that maybe we are only the minority and we are troublemaker. But then we are fighting for the basic things, right? And
What do you think about this patriotic education that the CCP is trying to bring into Hong Kong?
Well, I would say it's not a patriotic education, but
patriotic education.
Yeah, patriotic education. I would say it's a propaganda by the Chinese communists, and then how would I say? And because the youth nowadays, they are supporting the democracy, and then they would strengthen the what they think or brainwashing them. They would try to do that more and more, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So after this vote the other day, what do you think the next step in the freedom and democracy movement is?
I think the protesters, they have done all the things to do, like sacrificing their own life, and then the next step would be the international fights. So we will. I would say the sanction will be very important to freeze their asset, their properties, and then to ban their entry to other countries. So it can show that how would I say? It can show that they would have consequence for stepping our freedom and democracy, stripping of our freedom and democracy.
It's a very tangible way to show that too.
Yeah.
Not just words, with an act like that, with real provisions to check on Hong Kong, right? Yeah, and hurt them where it hurts most, in their pocketbook as well. Well, thank you so much for the interview. I wish you the best of luck. Yeah. So here we go. 100,000 people came out on Thanksgiving to thank America for passing this bipartisan Senate bill. Yeah. Sorry?
我相信我哋香港人係感激嘅對美國嘅支持，但我亦都相信我哋香港人嘅感激係唔會只係流於啲情緒上嘅波動，嗌下口號就算。因為我相信我哋香港人從來都冇，以後亦都唔會去要求美國代替我哋打呢場仗。呢場仗係我哋香港人一直自己打嘅。我哋一直祈求嘅係 Fight for Freedom， 係 Stand with Hong Kong。我哋一直祈求嘅係美國願意同我哋一齊行，一齊去對抗呢個。
Hong Kong on Thanksgiving, over 100,000 people have come out to thank America for passing the bipartisan Senate bills. Why did you come out here today?
Because today Trump has passed the act today, so we are here to thank him and thanks all senator there, to thank them to help us from June to now. They helped us a lot and they stand behind us. So that's why we are here. We want to thank them in this special day.
Yeah, it's amazing. You guys have been protesting for 150 days already.
Is that many already?
Well, that's about 6 months.
Oh, I didn't realize that, but yeah, we fought a lot.
Were you in it from the beginning?
Yep.
Wow, a real patriot here. What if Donald Trump was watching this program himself? What would you tell him?
Well, well, I just want to say thank you and to all Americans who support us. Please stand with us together and stand with us like until we finally win this war. Yeah.
You know, a lot of young people in America are actually they want more communism in America. They're advocating for it.
Okay.
It's crazy. What would you say to them? Because I know in a lot of the speeches that people understand what the dangers of communism are.
Well, I think they just have to look at what's going on in Hong Kong now, and I think if they know what's going on here now, they may have a different opinion on that. Yeah. So yeah, please look at us, and they will know something more. Yeah.
That's what I hope. I hope more of them watch this program. Yeah. Did you vote the other day?
Yeah.
Oh. Were you satisfied with the results of the election?
Yeah, I'm satisfied with that, but it's only another beginning of another battle for us. So we will keep fighting on, and yeah, it's just a little win for me.
Yeah, it's a little win, but it's a definite demonstration of the real sentiment of the Hong Kong people, right? It really showed what they really believe, because a lot of the propaganda was saying that, they're not happy with what's going on, but the vote, you can't lie with the vote.
It tells a lot. In fact, it tells a lot, and it tells that most of the Hong Kong people are supporting this protest. And even though there are some inconvenience throughout the protest, like the transport problem or something else, but we still think that democracy and freedom is more important than that, and we are willing to pay that price to get what we want. Yeah.
That's great. So what do you think the next step is going to be? You have the election. What do you think the next step in the movement is going to be?
Well, in my opinion, the protest must go on, but after the election, we have more seats in the region council. So it means maybe we will have a bigger political power and also bargaining power that allowed us to have more political option and political ways to solve this problem and to get what we want. But we have to see what we can do, in fact. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
That's amazing. I feel from you that no matter how long it's going to take, you'll be here, even if it takes 6 years. 150 days it's been. If it takes, another 6 years.
We will all be here until we win.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
It's okay. You did great. Yeah, here it is. Let's see. Do any of your friends want to have any words to say? Oh yeah. Okay. No problem. Do you guys?
跟住落嚟，我哋請嚟一位嚟自港人美國遊說組織 Hong Kong Democracy Council 嘅總監朱牧文先生為大家發言。
Next up, Hong Kong Senator Chu of Hong Kong Democracy Council, a Washington DC-based NGO dedicated to preserving Hong Kong's basic freedoms, rule of law, and autonomy, to share a few words with us. Mr. Chu, please.
大家好，我係朱牧文，係美國 HKDC 嘅總監。今日朝頭早在傍晚美國嘅時間，美國總統簽署呢個為香港人權、民主法同埋保護香港嘅法，成為美國正式嘅法律。喺過去6個幾月嘅時間裏邊，美國國會唔同嘅領袖不斷嘅同香港同行。每一日我都收到消息，佢哋話香港今日發生咩事？香港人堅持到底呢個精神其實係最重要喺美國嘅力量。今日
對美國 President Trump 嘅感恩，或者係美國國會嘅領袖嘅感恩。其實最重要係因為香港人呢個堅持到底嘅抗爭嘅感恩。
So we're here at the Edinburgh Place in Hong Kong. We really have an amazing atmosphere here. The Hong Kong people, as you can see behind me, are celebrating the passing of the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy and Human Rights and Democracy Act, which President Trump just signed today. And we've been walking around just talking to people, getting their feelings, and people feeling very motivated, particularly protesters and other pro-democracy individuals in Hong Kong. And we have Cece and Jane here with us today. Cece and Jane, how did you feel this morning whenever you heard that the...
for this act, and now it's really up to Trump to how to handle this act. Yeah, we are looking forward to what the American would do to support our protests further.
And of course, many people in the West have been keeping up to date with these protests. For the people who are just tuning in tonight, can you let everybody know why everybody seems to be wearing face masks and is very concerned about having their faces shown?
It's because of it's because we are all terrified by the white terror of the Chinese. So we are trying. Face recognition system from all these cameras around the city, and yeah, that's basically why we are still wearing masks.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you. Okay.
Hi.
Hey, would you like to tell us what name?
My name is Candace.
Oh, hi, Kansas. And Kansas, can you tell us how you felt this morning when you heard that the act had been passed?
I'm very happy, and I said yay because I'm very grateful that the U.S. stand with Hong Kong, and thanks for all your support to the Hong Kong protesters, and thank you all.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kansas. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, so we're going to walk find some more people to talk to and get a feeling for the night. As you can see behind us, really incredible atmosphere, incredible feeling. So we'll tune in again whenever we get some more interviews.
We need to start people.
每一句你上街遊行、叫口號、唱歌，朝頭早起身投票，你哋每一樣所做嘅事，都係今日睇到對美國、對全球嘅影響。所以我哋呢個一路喺自由之路同你繼續行。我哋唔論喺香港嘅獅子山下，或者喺華盛頓嘅國會山莊上，我哋會不斷永遠同你同行。香港人加油！
議會陣線嘅區諾軒議員為大家發言㗎。
A lot of the propaganda, the pro-Beijing propaganda, was saying that public sentiment was really against the protests. People were not happy, all this. But the election really showed the truth, right? It showed what people were really thinking about. So it really broke through that propaganda. What do you think the next step is? So you had the election. What do you think the next step in this fight for freedom is going to be?
Well, because the district election is just the first election that we have in Hong Kong that is really significant for us since the movement. I think the second election for the Legislative Council next year is going to be a huge fight between the government and the people, because we believe that through this district election, the government has collected a lot of big data from different districts. In other words, they would know how many more votes that they have to plant in the districts and how many more people that they have to bribe in order to win. So the next big fight would be in the Legislative Council election next year. And but we're not going to give up. We're going to try our best.
That's great. Okay, Jayo.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, good luck.
And thank you to President Donald Trump. We really wish that you would be here instead of what we have in Hong Kong right now.
Okay, you hear that, Mr. Trump?
轉變嘅各位香港人功不可沒。點解啊？嗰陣時我哋好努力地去賣廣告，去好多各大報章賣廣告，而 G20 國峰會會場嘅朝日新聞就係刊載咗我哋香港人向國際社會求援，要求國際社會支持我哋香港嘅一份廣告。呢一份廣告相信係一個好重要嘅轉變。大家知道呢啲一切都係得來不易，因為日本本身你問係唔係必然支持香港咧？唔一定嘅，佢同中國本身都有好多外交嘅利害關係。唔好以為一直都係敵對，因為喺中美貿易戰底下，日本一直都係好希望同中國加多啲貿易，好多農產品都去輸入唔到去美國，就開始諗下喺中國嗰度加強啲經貿利益。咁變相佢哋喺香港問題上面亦都係相當之唔容易，大家睇下諗下，最初河野太郎喺眾議院被眾議院議員英井州質問佢，話請問你對於香港嘅逃犯條例有咩睇法？其實佢只係本身係一個好公式嘅答案，但係大家睇下諗下，最初河野太郎喺眾議院被眾議院議員英井州質問佢。話請問你對於香港嘅逃犯條例有咩睇法？其實佢只係本身係一個好公式嘅答案，但係喺6月12號，當警察向香港市民開槍地解決事件，當時候係出咗件咁嘅tweet。跟住我哋亦都見到周庭去到日本，開始係整個地方嘅媒體啦、大學啦，係有一個全國性嘅關注。周庭今日喺度，不過我可以憶述翻佢嘅講法。當時候佢入到去大學嘅禮堂，係200幾人座無虛席。當時候嘅日本記者協會去採訪嘅時候，佢話有記者同佢講，好耐未試過一笪地方係採訪國際媒體、本地媒體係塞爆晒成個採訪嘅會議室。咁你會問7月、8月、9月究竟係點樣咧？其實亦都係唔容易嘅。點解唔容易咧？因為畢竟好多媒體係未必願意係報導一個比較進步嘅立場。有時候佢哋會見到啲暴力嘅畫面，然後佢就會話示威者暴力等等。但係我好希望喺度多謝2位日本嘅朋友，一位係和泉素行先生，唔知大家認唔認識佢？咁佢咧佢上網。
Okay, guys, so we're back again, and we've got Harry and John with us today, and they're feeling great about the Democracy Act being passed earlier today. Harry was studying abroad when the protest first started back earlier this year. Harry, how did you feel when you were studying abroad? You weren't here to see your fellow Hong Kongers here, but you saw the videos while you were studying abroad. How did it make you feel?
Actually, I feel very sad and disappointed seeing my hometown is suffering from the government and police, and that's why I want to quickly finish my uni and come back to Hong Kong and support Hong Kong. Yeah, and that's what I meant to be.
And how does it make you feel now after the weekend's election result and, of course, the Democracy Act being passed today?
Actually, I feel very happy, but I think Hong Kong people should not stop at this time. We need to fight and gain more and fight for our 5 demands. And I hope the world can help us on more, such as like America, like UK, what they are trying to do. I think, and I want them to really actually helping us rather than just speak, doing some actual thing for us. Yeah.
Thanks so much. And John, when you woke up this morning and you realized that President Trump had finally signed the act, how did you feel? Do you remember?
I feel really appreciated. Because like after a few months of this unrest, and finally we get something like a little bit progress. Like we finally feel something real, like something exists that really help us to continue this social activity. Like if without this, maybe we are not as motivated as now. So I think it's a really good event and really good law that can make us keep going.
And even before tonight, we saw protesters with American flags singing the Star-Spangled Banner, the American national anthem. Why did they do that? What is it that the protesters see in the United States that inspires them so much?
Like we are looking, we want democracy. So, like America always say, like they are the most democracy country nation in the world. So like I hope we are standing with the same value as them. So we hope that with our same value, so we may get some support or like from the Western countries. So I hope we will stand together. So people stand with us. So we get more hope. Stand against China. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much. And we have Mr. Chu, who's joined us now. Mr. Chu, why did you come here tonight?
Because I would like to give thanks to the U.S. citizens and the people in U.S. that they support us and support the Hong Kong for the democracy movement.
And how did you feel this morning when you woke up and you saw President Trump had finally signed the act?
I feel happy because we have longed for this act to pass for so long, but I think more concerns should be given to those who are in the opposite side, those who in the University of Hong Kong, because of course U.S. give much support to us, but those who are fighting with us. Really fighting with us is Hong Kongers, not U.S. So we will keep fighting for the freedom. Hong Kongers will keep up and please stand with Hong Kong. Keep standing with Hong Kong.
And how do you think the people's feeling is now after the election result at the weekend and after Trump has signed the Democracy Act? Do you feel things are different now? Do you feel the protesters have more spirit?
Of course, we in the past 5 months, all the battles are losing. All the battles on the street, we are losing our people, those our brothers who are caught by the brutal police. We feel very upset about all the things happened in the past 5 months. And I think the district election results and the passing of the act is something that can make us have some relief.
Mr. Chu, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hi, Toby. Thank you very much. Toby, how do you feel here tonight?
I feel great. So thank you for all the U.S. Senator and President Donald Trump for signing the bill, and it's a step for us for the world to know what's happening in Hong Kong and what they can do, and other country can do things that's similar to Hong Kong, perhaps pass a bill, something like that. Yeah.
And for the people in the West who've just tuned in tonight, a lot of people in the West have been keeping up to date with what's happening in Hong Kong. But for the other people who haven't, what exactly are you fighting for?
So we are simply fighting for democracy and freedom, because the Chinese government and the Chinese Communist Party has been suppressing and repressing our freedom and democracy, and we want to change that, and we want to. It's really common basic values that we just want freedom and 5 demands. That's all we ask for. Yeah.
And what is it about the Chinese Communist Party that worries Hong Kong people so much?
So we have seen the Chinese Communist Party that they make agreements that they don't follow, that they sign contract, that they make deals with other countries, but they don't follow the rules. And also, for the past 30, 40 years, and especially what happened in Tiananmen Square, we will not want that to happen in Hong Kong, and we hope the world will prevent that happening as well.
And at any stage during the past few months, were you ever afraid that something like Tiananmen Square might have happened here in Hong Kong?
Well, it is always we always think about that, but we try to be positive, and we will fight until our last breath, because that's the right thing to do for us, for Hong Kongers, or even for the world, to protect the world from the Chinese Communist Party.
And do you feel that what's happened in Hong Kong with the Chinese Communist Party, that other Western nations and other nations should be worried about the same thing happening?
Of course, yeah, because we have seen what's happening in we have seen the NBA incidents where basically a coach that support Hong Kong democracy and our protests, and then the Chinese government interfere. It's basically what happened in the U.S. So it is very possible that the Chinese Communist Party will interfere with interfere other countries as well. Yeah.
Okay, Toby, thank you so much for your
Yeah,
time.
of course.
Enjoy
Yeah,
tonight. Okay,
thanks.
thank you. Okay, so guys, we'll tune back in very soon. We'll get some more interviews for you guys to hear exactly what's happening on the ground in Hong Kong.
And this is great.
Last week.
Oh, this is phenomenal. Do you speak English? Would you mind if I...
The fall of the Berlin Wall. Its collapse marked the abject failure of communism and the triumph of freedom over tyranny. Today, Hong Kong is the new Berlin. And in Hong Kong, the cause for freedom has never been greater. The violence we've seen from the police forces, which has escalated, including the tragic shooting just last week in response to peaceful protests, is nothing less than shameful. Last month, I was in...
Watching this program right now, what would you tell him?
I am actually very surprised that he took the first step to fight for the democracy and to show the world that democracy is way greater than economy gains, and that really is the first step, showing the whole world that democracy it's invaluable. It's way greater than than money, pretty much. And I think the next step is to unite even more countries together, and hopefully to show China that yes, you do have the market value, but when it comes to democracy, everyone should be equal and everyone should have the same definition to democracy. And yeah, thank you, USA. Yeah.
That's great. That's super, powerful to hear from you, to be honest. Yeah.
Thank you, press, to be honest. But without the press, there's very little coverage. And plus, we all know that China is trying to, make up their own point of view kind of thing. Just trying to mock us that we are rioters. But look around you. We're so peaceful. If Carrie Lam would just listen to us, if China would just listen to us, we didn't need to have so much people getting injured, getting hurt, or just kind of scarring them their entire life, pretty much. So yeah, let's just keep on fighting. Yeah.
Good luck. There's so much propaganda out there by Beijing, though. Yeah, but it's good. That election vote, it showed what the Hong Kong people are really thinking, what they're all about. Yeah, that's great. And actually, in terms of the media, Epoch Times, I'm from the New York office in America, but the Hong Kong press was set on fire about a week ago after we reported honestly on what was going on at the university.
I mean, it's someone's behind this for sure. So, yeah.
I'm shocked by the state of the media in Hong Kong.
It's so random, the timing. It's just not what Hong Kongers would do to each other. It must be someone else. Someone's behind all this. So, yeah, we have to be smart and think like who is the one behind all the destruction. Yeah.
We don't have the evidence, but it's looking mighty like it's like the CCP. So anyway, good luck, and we will continue reporting honestly, and that's all we need to do. This is so great. This is more American flags than you will see in New York City right now. It's so beautiful. Listen, do you speak English?
A little bit.
Okay, I have a question. If Donald Trump is watching this program right now, what would you tell him?
Thank you very much, but we still need your support for our fighting for democracy and for all the free men and women in the world, for the our value we seek for. Yeah, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Very powerful first step that was taken, right?
Yeah, it's the first step, and it's not the end. We still work very hard for it, and the way is very long, but we will never give up. And please never give up and stand with us.
It's beautiful. And here we have "Give me liberty or give me death," one of the most iconic mottos in America. But very, very serious. A lot of Americans fought for liberty and they died, right? But here in Hong Kong, for the last 6 months, people have been fighting for their freedom. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, we're following their steps, and we truly believe that we need the liberty. So please support us. Thank you.
We are not fight for economic or something. We are just fight for freedom. All of the Hong Kongers want freedom. Your support that's mean a lot of me. Thank you.
Beautiful. Being here really reminds me that I think we take a lot of things for granted in America, like being able to speak without having to wear a mask. That is something that I personally just have not realized how important it is until I got here to Hong Kong. And people can't speak without wearing a mask because they fear reprisals. Yeah, it's something we definitely need to be thankful for here over there in America. Do you have something to say?
Force them to honor your command. For all that, for all you do, I say thank you. Also, thank you for waking up America and waking up fellow American citizens. This is our fight. Together, we will turn Hong Kong into a democratic society. For all that, God bless you. Waking up my fellow American citizens. This is our fight. Together, we will turn Hong Kong into a democratic society.
So we're back again, guys, just behind the stage, and I'm very pleased to have Isaac with me, who's tonight's MC and also one of the organizers of tonight's event. Isaac, how did you feel this morning when you woke up and you saw that President Trump had finally signed the act?
It's definitely a pleasant surprise. We actually have arranged today's and tonight's rally for about 2 weeks from now, because we had to actually apply for a letter of no objection from the Hong Kong police force. So we obtained that, and we started planning 2 weeks ago. And today just happened to be a pleasant surprise, because we felt that we want to give thanks when we started knowing that the Congress has passed the bill 2 weeks ago. And also the fact that we started organizing the first rally back in October for the HKHRDA. So this is kind of a continuation, and our theme today is actually thank you and march on. So the march on bit is actually what we want to continue for this rally.
I see. And even before tonight, we've seen American flags at protests. We've seen people singing the American anthem. What is it that America symbolizes for the protesters?
Well, my personal opinion is definitely that we want to fight the police brutality and also the continuing suppression from the CPC, right? So I think what's CCP, excuse me. So the problem we have right now is not just a Hong Kong problem. It's a global problem, and we understand, of course, the U.S. being one of the pioneer in freedom of rights and speeches and etc. It's as you can see, all these flags are waving all the time. It's not just today happens to be a U.S. rally theme, but also in other parts of protests and rallies, you will see U.S. flags waving and flying around. So to me, it's a symbolic issue, but matter, and also it's symbolized for us that Hong Kong can be as liberal as the U.S. We have, and the majority of Hong Kongers and the people of Hong Kong have spoken out, as you can see from the recent district council election, right? Most of the winning are from the Democrats.
And I was very amazed as I walked in here. I realized there was no security guards, or there was no stewards, or there was nobody. But everybody filed in very calmly, very peacefully, took their seat, and the whole thing has just gone on very, very well, very smoothly. What is it about? Because in the media and with a lot of politicians in Hong Kong and around the world, we hear about rioters and violence and things. But to me, it doesn't really seem like that. What are your own views of these terms?
Do you see any police around now? So there you have it. You don't have police right here. You don't have any police officers. It's gonna be a peaceful night. So everything started, no matter what people see in the news or news clip, it can be edited. But to me personally, I feel that if you don't see police hanging around and looking into us or spotting us or monitoring us, there's always been peaceful protests and assemblies.
And what's next for the pro-democracy movement?
I don't know. I wish I had the crystal ball, but to me, the HRDA has passed. So, and then we thank President Trump for signing this, and I think the next is actually the sanction list, and how does it actually put into the action plan.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Isaac, thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Okay, guys.
The freedom of the press, the freedom of the people to assemble, and the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, we here in America call that the Charters of Freedom. And that's what we're praying for. That's why 3 clergy members from the United States came to Hong Kong in November of 2019 to work with you for an end to the violence, and to say that Hong Kong, we support your freedom.
Somebody's giving a civics lesson here on the American Revolution. And on the way here, I saw actually a lot of posters and signs comparing the American Revolution to what's going on in Hong Kong right now. And there does seem to be a lot of parallels.
and your liberty. So, for you, God's going to do great things for Hong Kong, and we are with you all the way. God bless you, Pastor Dr. William Devlin, here in the city of Philadelphia, right outside Independence Hall. See you soon. God bless.
Thank you 好唔好啊 ？Thank you America! Thank you America! Thank you America!
If President Trump was watching this right now, what would you tell him?
I would like to say to President Trump, thank you very much. Thank you for all the citizens in America supporting the Hong Kong Human Rights Democracy Act. Sincerely, from the heart, Hong Kong people, thank you.
Yeah, you heard it right here.
跟住呢位咧，佢個 title 有少少長㗎，我要望翻住嚟讀啊。咁係啦，咁佢就係比較政治學者、高教公民秘書長、民間外交網絡秘書長方之恒博士。Hello， 大家好。咁當然唔少得嘅就係大專學界國際事務代表團嘅發言人張坤陽同學。咁或者大家未發言過嗰兩位，你哋先講一講啦。對於未來，而家我哋法案通過咗啦，區選亦都大捷啦，咁樣我哋未來個抗爭路向，你哋覺得點睇咧？咁你講之前咧，我要同大家講嘅，因為呢個係論壇啦，大家都可以上嚟發言啦。咁所以如果你哋有啲問題想請教我哋三位嘉賓嘅話咧，你哋而家係可以咧隨便去到旁邊藍色帳篷咧，揾一位西裝友係着住白色恤衫嘅高大靚仔咧，同佢排隊登記咁就得㗎啦。咁雖然我都靚仔，但係就唔好揾錯咗我，去翻嗰邊藍色帳篷嗰度登記，我哋係會安排你發言嘅咁樣。咁啊，交翻俾兩位啦。
From South Africa. All right. Take a look. Hey, can I ask you a quick question? All right, no problem. Wow, so many people. Here's the.
Have Stefano, the Italian tenor, who just sung a beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, and also a beautiful Italian song as well. So we've got Stefano over to have a few words with him and see exactly what inspired him to come down here and join the protest. So, Stefano, can you tell people at home how exactly you got involved and what inspired you to come down and sing for the crowd today?
Well, it's very simple. I was watching those terrible, depressing live streams of police brutality online, and I thought I could do something for them. The occasion for making up my mind was when I heard the hymn, the protest song, Glory to Hong Kong. I thought it would be cool to sing for them. Since I'm a tenor, I sing opera, and so I use my technique to sing their songs, and they seem to like it.
And how did you feel the first time you heard the song? We heard a beautiful rendition of it just now from Denise Ho, and as we looked around, there was a beautiful scene where everybody was standing up with their cameras. It was very beautiful. So when you first heard that song, how did you feel?
I thought I could sing it because it's a classical composition. It's not a pop song, and it's made in a way like many other national anthems to move people. You relate with the ideas that are behind the song, and people get excited. That's the purpose of music, to cheer up people in hardship.
So you were in Italy, you heard the song, you decided to come and help. What happened next?
I was in Taiwan, actually, because I live out of a suitcase. When there's a chance to sing or anything else, I just grab my suitcase and go. I'm not really based anywhere. So it was easy for me to come over and join them. But most of the effort is making up your mind. Then everything else you find it. For example, I found a friend who can host me. I found organizers to find venues to sing and so on.
And what was it that made you feel passionately enough to leave Taiwan and come into what, when I first arrived here, was like a war zone? What was it that inspired you?
I confess that I'm attracted by dystopian worlds. Also because, well, it's easy for me. I'm not really part of it. I can leave if I want. But I wanted to see this in reality because, yes, you watch the news, but you never know what is really happening there. And here I am. Nothing bad has happened to me yet. On the contrary, everybody is very friendly with me. They feel that I'm supporting them.
And as a Westerner, your first experience of the Hong Kong protest was through the media. When you arrived here as a Westerner, did your view of the protest change at all, or how did you feel when you arrived?
Before coming here, I was already watching live streams by independent reporters. So I thought that would be quite close to reality because they were not filtered by hidden interests behind the media. But still, it still feels much deeper to see it by yourself, not behind the camera. It's a mix of fear because you see hundreds of, I don't know if you can call them police, but people in uniform threatening people, and excitement because I feel that I'm part of something big and something just and right and good.
And for the Western world, can you describe the atmosphere whenever there are so many riot police, whenever the protesters are in formation and maybe you're on the street? How is the atmosphere in Hong Kong during those times?
First, they are equipped and dressed up to scare people, and that's
the riot police.
The riot police, sure. And they like it. I noticed because during a rally, the second day I got here, I was in a big rally, quite peaceful, and the police were on a bridge, and we were passing beneath the bridge, and the police was like smiling. Then we started chanting something about them, and they did something like this. So they like the feeling. That's not professional, but that's the way they are. Then you are confused because you see those people, they are supposed to serve the people, and instead you have to pay attention and defend yourself from them. When the police is the criminal, I don't know who I should call.
Yeah, I can imagine. And with many of the Western media and also some politicians here in Hong Kong, they've classified the protesters as things like violent rioters and things like this. Is this the impression that you've had of the protesters since you've arrived?
The great majority of people in the protest are totally peaceful. Then, after months and months of peaceful protests, rallies, human chains, and so on, nothing substantial has happened. So some people thought that they could find more energetic ways, to say violent ways. They're not a majority, and I don't feel like blaming them, because when nothing else seems to work, you're just angry and you want to do something. For me, it's singing. For other people, it could be something more substantial, something more energetic. If the government and the police had paid more respect and attention to the people's demands, this wouldn't have escalated up to this point. I see the violence on the side of the protesters as a reaction to the lack of sympathy on the side of the government and the police. If the government had listened to their demands and restrained from using force, violence on the side of the protesters wouldn't be like this.
And will we get the opportunity to hear you sing again tonight?
We started late and I heard that they are cutting some parts, so I'm not sure. But I'm here. I'm like a jukebox. You push a button and I sing.
Okay. Well, we hope we get the opportunity again. Thank you, Stefano. Thank you. Okay, guys, so tune back in after a while. We'll have some more people to talk to.
Like you have something to say here. So here's a question. If President Trump is watching this right here, what would you tell him?
Thank you for fighting for freedom and staying with Hong Kong. Sorry. That this is the first step only, and we back him to stand with us in the future and really do more for freedom, as freedom is one of the most valued thing in America.
Yeah. You know, one other thing that really stands out to me is that as an American, I really take for granted that I can say anything, even in front of a camera. But here in Hong Kong, you know, because of China, people, they want to talk and they want to say things and express themselves, but they can't. And they have to hide behind masks. It's just terrible. Can you speak to that?
In fact, I'm American too. But in Hong Kong, we can't do that. I was raised in America, so I know that we were taught to value freedom, to value democracy. But those are not free either. It was fought for us in the past by our ancestors. So now we have to fight for our future generation. So in the future, they can enjoy the same amount of freedom that I enjoyed in America. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's so beautiful. See, one small act can spark such a big response. Beautiful. All right, thank you guys so much.
Hello.
我哋喺當中旗海喺度話，我可以頭轉咗咯。跟住我呢邊向邊走。
Jesse.
Oh, if you call me Pen. Yeah.
Yes. What the American flag means to the Hong Kong from. Oh yeah, we're, just 1 second. We're just about to go live. Okay. And Pen, yes. What is it about the American flag that means so much to the Hong Kong protesters?
Because now we understand that Mr. Donald Trump, the president of the United States, they signed the law, and now we know that America is support Hong Kong.
And what is it? Because even before tonight, we've seen lots of American flags. We've seen protesters singing the national anthem, even early in the protests. Why was that?
Because the Hong Kong protester is seeking for some help from international parties, and we know that America is strong, and only the America can help us.
And how did you feel this morning when you woke up and you were...
so happy. I'm so happy that I know that Mr. Donald Trump, because previously I am very worried about that Donald Trump will reject to sign that left audience, and now I know that I'm so happy that Mr. Donald Trump signed the agreement, and it states that he supports Hong Kong.
Okay, Pen, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, guys, tune back in soon. We'll have some more voices for you to hear.
The American human Democracy Act. We are happy to celebrating this.
You heard it here. Thank you. Wow. United States stands with Hong Kong, Seattle, Boston, New York, Washington, D.C. I wonder if this is from a certain group. Is this your sign? It's not your sign? Interesting. I wonder why they chose these particular cities to put on here. Interesting. Let's see what people are writing on here. Can I ask you a quick question? If Donald Trump was watching this broadcast right here, what would you tell him?
Thanks, Trump. Thanks for American people. Thank you, the Congress, for standing with Hong Kong, standing with freedom. What I was going to say, Hong Kong is very appreciative for what America has done for Hong Kong, even though we haven't have much to offer U.S. in return. But it's a universal values that we hold together. So thank you, America. Thank you, Trump. Thank you, Congress. And thank you, the citizens of USA. Yeah, thanks.
咁但係我哋仍然有好多人有啲嘅區議員，可能我哋會未來咧，可能會更加着重國際線嗰個嘅佈局，因為喺外國咧，即係有啲嘢好現實嘅。係我哋呢啲嘅即係議員咧，咁可能我哋會容易啲可以將我哋嘅聲音，因為我哋有你哋嘅民意授權，我哋會更加容易將你哋嘅訴求、你哋嘅聲音可以帶出。
And we're just doing a live stream at the moment, so it'll just be a minute or two before we go live, and then I can ask you. Okay? Yeah. Okay. What was your first name? Jenny. Jenny. Jenny.
有一半嘅議員啦，咁我希望到時就叫佢哋咧喺地方層面咧就推動制裁嘅法案。咁啊，等黑警咧，淨係好去大灣區啦，但係擺個嗰個區咧就去唔到啦。好。
而家條法例係通過咗，但係佢唔等於係會自動執行嘅。要條法例真係執行，要真係制裁到啲官員。
Okay, guys, so we're here with Jenny, and as you can see, she's dressed in her all-American colors. I just complimented her on her bandana. Jenny, when you woke up this morning and you realized that President Trump had signed the act, how did you feel?
Very happy, very pleasant. It made my day. So, but we kind of expected it. It was within our expectation. No matter what, President Trump will be signing the bill. It was just a matter of days that he probably had to pretend that he would make some decision. But, you know, I think more than 60% of the Senate and the House of Representatives already passed the act, so it doesn't matter. It's happening.
And what has it been for the protesters after you've spoken to them? Has it lifted their spirits?
What is it? Sorry.
Do you feel that it's lifted the protesters' spirits? Has it raised their morale?
It's definitely raised our morale. Over the past months, we've been very desperate, disappointed. Everything that happened was very horrible. But today, given this successfully passing the act, people in Hong Kong feel that we have complete support from the U.S. and also the world, because many other countries like Canada and maybe some of the countries in Europe are following the steps of the U.S. They're considering passing the I can't pronounce the act.
Magnitsky Act.
Magnitsky Act, yeah. They're going to somehow find their way to sanction the government officials in Hong Kong and the Hong Kong police. This is very pleasant to us.
And what does the United States and the American flag symbolize for Hong Kong people?
Freedom. Fighting for freedom, and maybe success, because just like the lyrics of the anthem, you know, the flag is still waving there overnight. It's like, despite so many unhappy things that happen here in our place, but here we are slowly achieving what we are looking for.
So your flag is still waving here in Hong Kong as well?
Yes.
So what's next for the protesters? What's next for the pro-democracy
I'm not sure, but we will find our way to keep the momentum, keep the heat, so we don't forget to fight for the rest of the things that we've been asking for. You know, the 5 demands. Actually, there are more than 5 demands, but never one less.
Okay. Thanks so much, Jenny. Have a nice night. Thank you. Okay, guys. Dogs go for the throats, forgetting hopes, neglecting those who don't have a vote. He asks himself who he serves and who he protects. And behind the shield, he wonders why he lost the respect. He was once Asia's finest, now he's Asia's violence. Looking for excuses to incite the riot. Backed by false flags, no name tags, missing IDs, white shirt tracks funded by the powers that be. Paying these fawns, their conscience is gone. Is this still an order when it transforms into atrocities? And underneath it all, he still believes that this is what he trained for. A delusional savior, taking aim at those who scream fuck the police. Fuck the police.
Watching this program right now, what would you tell him?
I would say, yeah, thank you very much for passing the bill, and I understand it has been many diplomatic pressure he must be handling, but he did the right thing. So yeah, thank you very much.
That's actually a really good point. You know, it seems like, oh, it's so simple, it's a signature, but it's true. There's a lot of diplomatic pressure, especially when you're dealing with a communist regime like China, to not sign it. So it's you know, quite the thing that he did. Yeah. What does it mean? A lot of people here say it means a lot to them. Does it mean a lot to you?
Yes, I personally not really active protester, but this definitely helps us a lot, as that you know, we finally sort of have an ally or a friend that we know we are not alone in this world, although how tiny this place are. So now that this is, yeah, you help our morale, sort of, yeah.
I can definitely see that. Well, good. Best of luck. America stands absolutely with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You know, this is one of the real big takeaways that I'm getting from this event, because, you know, it seems to me it's almost like a no-brainer to stand with Hong Kong. And when I heard that it was a bipartisan bill, I was like, of course. You know, and I feel like a lot of Americans think the same way. But here in Hong Kong, it means so much to them because, you know, they're fighting a giant communist regime, the biggest communist regime left on the planet. And to know that America stands with them, that morale boost is so, you know, crucial. Do you have something?
10月14號，我哋做一個感恩節集會嘅前版，就係呢個香港人權民主法案嘅集氣大會之後呢，就有美國嘅議員喺眾議院呢係展示咗一張大家一齊舉起手機燈海嘅照片，好多美國人當時都深受感動㗎。
At this time, our Thanksgiving Day assembly is approaching to an end. Some of you might remember when we held the rally for HRDA in October. A picture of us lighting up the city with torches was shown in the House of Representatives, and many fellow Americans were deeply moved.
咁今晚呢，我都想喺度邀請大家再一次喺愛丁堡廣場呢度揮動大家手上嘅美國旗幟，打開你哋嘅手機燈，一齊向美國國會同埋國民表達感恩。
Here tonight, I would like to invite every one of you to fly your American flag and light your torch to express our deepest gratitude to the U.S. Congress, President Trump, and the American public who supported the HKHRDA and Hong Kong.
好咁啊！請大家揮動你哋嘅手機燈，我哋影張相先。
this is more, you know, I don't need to sign.
Means to them, you know, and it's such a big morale boost. I can only imagine. What? Oh, I don't know if you can hear it right now, but right now they're playing the Hong Kong national anthem, the new national anthem. Here, you want to show it? And this just really makes me think about Hong Kong. You know, you have a giant communist China right above it, and this right here is the little sliver, I guess, along with Taiwan, of freedom and democracy and liberty in Asia. It's the Pearl of the Orient, right? I mean, what better way to show it than these beautiful lights here? And go a little higher. I mean, no? Wow. I mean, it probably goes on for a quarter of a mile, these beautiful lights. Yeah, so beautiful as the national anthem plays again for, you know, the American national anthem. Which, I mean, if you know the lyrics to the American national anthem, it talks about the battle for freedom, right? The ramparts, the bombs bursting in air. I mean, take a look at these lights. It reminds you of it here, right? So beautiful. A lot of people are talking about how, you know, America in 1776 is very similar to Hong Kong now. At the time, we were fighting for our freedom against, you know, the imperial British Empire, and to be honest, they were fighting for their freedom against the Chinese, right? So a lot of similarities, and they see it too. You have lights going back here, and if you look up there, you have American flags all across the front, the American national anthem playing. Man, now this is a way to spend Thanksgiving. This is a way for an American to spend Thanksgiving here in Hong Kong. Everyone is so thankful. It really moves me, to be honest. Wow.
政治素人咧都讓到熱情，同埋咧將好多保守反動嘅力量咧從區議會咧掃咗出去。咁美國通過香港人權民主法咧，咁呢個當然係對香港係一個強心針，對香港嘅香港自由嘅市民係一個好心情。區議會咧掃咗出去。咁美國通過香港人權民主法咧，咁呢個當然係對香港係一個強心針，對香港嘅香港自由嘅市民係一個好消息。同時咧，呢個嘅香港人權民主法係都其實係對美國對世界都有一個咁最近咧，美國咧有兩個對美國選民嘅民調咧，都顯示咧美國嘅民眾咧有大部分咧最近咧都係十分之關注香港發生嘅事情。咁而受訪者裏邊咧亦都係有大部分嘅人咧係支持香港嘅示威者，係全世界所有香港自由嘅人嘅人心所向。咁而美國國會通過嘅香港人權民主法咧，就係反映到呢個咁嘅意願。同時咧香港人權民主法咧裏邊嘅內容咧，亦都其實係包含咗一啲部分咧係對美國同世界嘅安全咧都好重要嘅部分，因為咧喺美國嘅認證底下，香港一路考慮國家嘅需要成為。咁中國咧一路都係香港嘅國家嘅多元化，對世界經濟會得到好多嘅好處。咁今次香港國家嘅經濟會好好嘅支持，咁呢啲國家嘅投資，咁我今日嘅都係
Question? If President Trump was watching this broadcast right now, what would you tell him?
Thank you, President, and thank you, America, the Congress, for passing the act. And then thank you. It really means a lot to us. Thank you.
And one more question. You know, in America right now, there's two political parties, and they're fighting each other all the time on almost everything. They can't agree on anything. But 100% of them, on both sides, agree to the Hong Kong Human Rights Act and the Pro-Democracy Act. Well, what does that mean to you as a person here in Hong Kong?
Because America stands with freedom, and America is the land of freedom and kind of protects the freedom on earth. Yeah.
So, does it give you more of a morale boost, like a feeling like somebody is behind you, that you're not alone? Is it that type of feeling?
It sure does, because currently Hong Kong is made secretly or explicitly under control of Beijing and the Communist Party. So with the help of America, it surely does boost our morale and give us a support both mentally and physically, because we can section our those against justice. Yeah.
Well, I personally hope it's only a first step. I hope there's so much more support that you guys get.
Yeah.
Well, 加油. Good luck. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, look. I wonder if this is the same... No, it's the same procession, but man, so nice. Look how many flags you have here. Wow. Look at this guy, wearing the flag as a cape. Hey, what would you say to Donald Trump if he's watching right now?
Right? Hello. Hello, everybody. I'm one of the Hong Kongers. I'm here to express our eternal gratitude to President Trump and all U.S. And all Americans who stand with us.
Wow. And look how many flags this guy got. He's holding a flag, he's wearing a flag, and there's a flag on his shirt. Oh, I think, right? Yeah, look at this. Wow, great. All right, well, good luck to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
咁經濟反彈。咁喺2009、2010年嘅時候咧，可能係因為中國嘅經濟成功反彈，而歐美咧都仍然係一個經濟危機嘅情況底下嘅時候咧，好多嘅中國嘅統治階層咧開始咧頭腦發熱，就覺得咧中國咧又完全咧可以係統治世界，全世界咧都要睇中國面色話事，中國咧係世界嘅經濟火車頭。於是乎咧，佢哋就產生咗一種諗法，就係世界咧向中國買嘢咧就係中國嘅恩惠，咁世界其他國家咧買嘢俾中國咧都係中國嘅恩惠，咁所以無論點都好咧，好似全世界咧同中國嘅交往都係中國嘅恩惠咁樣。咁呢個咁嘅心態咧，可能就係導致到咧近年咧係中國咧喺好多國際嘅事務上邊，香港事務對台嘅政策、南海嘅問題等等咧，都越嚟越變得急進。
If President Trump was watching this broadcast, what would you tell him?
Yeah, thank you, sir, for signing the bill. Thank you for standing with Hong Kong. Yeah, we continue to fight for freedom and keep our effort.
Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, with the same. Thank you very much for standing with Hong Kong, and together we hit harder. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do not surrender. Never. Yeah. Thank you.
Never surrender.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
中央聲明咧只係一個歷史文件咁而一啲中國嘅官方學者咧都好清楚講明，當年咧簽訂中英聯合聲明，甚至乎有基本法咧，都嘅歷史意義咧就在於確保中國可以喺97年收回香港嘅主權。當呢個收回主權嘅動作已經順利完成之後咧，咁呢啲嘅文件、呢啲嘅條約咧、呢啲嘅合約咧，就已經冇咗佢嘅歷史意義。咁所以係依家係有一部分嘅中國精英係話。
This event to me was extremely powerful, and it showed the unity that the Hong Kong protesters or the people advocating for freedom here in Hong Kong have. You know, while the speakers were speaking, it was almost dead silent. People were just paying attention to the message, and then, you know, when something hit them, they chanted in unison. It was super powerful. Another thing I really found touching, as the people were talking, they really wanted to express themselves. They had so much to say. But a lot of them were, you know, almost all of them were covering their faces with masks. Some of them were going further, wearing glasses. It really reminded me that in America, we take a lot of these freedoms for granted. You know, you can get in front of a camera, get on YouTube, get on Facebook, say almost anything you want. But here in Hong Kong, when you want to say what you really want, you have to cover your face. You know, that's something that we really take for granted in America. And lastly, I think the biggest takeaway for me was that in America, I feel like a lot of people, they look at this bill in the Senate that was passed unilaterally, and we think, well, it's so obvious, you know, Hong Kong people are fighting for democracy, fighting for freedom. Why wouldn't we pass such a bill? But here in Hong Kong, it means so much to the people because they're on the front lines. I mean, you have communist China right above Hong Kong, right? I mean, they're in such a precarious situation, and they're fighting back with all of their strength, and this kind of support means a lot to them. So, you know, they're extremely thankful. Everybody I talked to was just saying thank you. Thank you to America. Thank you to Trump for signing the bill yesterday. Yeah, so, you know, anybody who's watching this, you should feel good, you know, because America really is standing behind Hong Kong and it's giving them a giant morale boost. So, looks like the event is winding down. Looks like the giant procession of flags is packing up. And until next time, I guess we'll sign off.